What's up guys, it's River and today we're looking at the Canon 60 Mark II. This is an interesting camera because when it first came out, it had a lot of hype around it and a lot of famous content creators just fully switched over to this guy. But it's been a few years. Did it live up to the hype? And can it compete on today's modern market with cameras like the Canon RP and the A7 III? So let's do a deep dive, figure out exactly what this camera does, exactly who it's for, and most importantly, is it right for you? Let's get into it. Also, just to let you guys know, there's a link in the description down below for the absolute best pricing on this camera. And right before we get into the specs of this camera, I just want to give a quick shout out to you guys. I really appreciated everybody who left a positive comment and said something nice on the Canon RP video. It absolutely made my day. I simply can't tell you guys how much that meant to me. Thank you. And now let's get into the video. So let's get right into the specs. This camera has a 26 megapixel full frame sensor that does 6 frames per second in continuous autofocus, which by itself is pretty impressive. That in itself is really solid and will absolutely hold up for things like fashion, lifestyle, portraits, or any kind of corporate work like weddings, real estate, headshots, pretty much anything you can throw at it that just doesn't need a lot of motion. So no sports photography or wildlife photography, but for everything else, you are good to go. And naturally, this camera shoots both RAW and JPEGs like every other camera on the market, but something that has to be said, Canon does a great job with their RAW codec. It gives you plenty of room to really push and pull your colors. There's a ton of dynamic range. You will not be disappointed by the RAW codec in this camera. As for video, it does full HD up to 60 frames per second with a data rate of 60 megabytes. Canon HD is absolutely gorgeous. It is very sharp and holds detail extremely well. So for 90% of vloggers and content creators out there, this camera will not let you down. Something important to note, this camera shoots in a format called IPB. Now that's the prosumer codec for video that Canon supplies. However, most Canon cameras actually shoot in a codec called All-I, which is a pro level codec. Now in terms of image quality, you won't really notice much of a difference. Where you will notice a bit of a difference is render times and how efficiently your computer handles this footage. Now, this maybe was something to worry about a few years ago, but today's modern MacBooks and modern laptops are super intense. They have great graphics cards, and I don't think this codec thing is really anything to worry about. And to be honest, unless you're a professional that's exporting multiple edits a day that are all over 30 minutes long, you really won't see the difference. Sadly, this camera has no 4K, and even for the time when it came out, a lot of people were kind of outraged that it had no 4K, but Canon has yet to really nail 4K in any of their cameras, except for their cinema cameras. So, to be honest, except for maybe the 1DX Mark II, which is an $8,000 camera, I wouldn't really look to Canon for 4K. And both the photos and video in this camera are greatly enhanced by Canon's color science. If you've been on this channel for a minute, you know that I absolutely love Canon's color science. They legitimately have the second best color science in the entire industry. The way Canon colors hold reds and blues and saturate the greens is just magnificent. And best of all, the way Canon cameras handle skin tones, pretty much everybody looks attractive on these cameras. So if you have an ugly friend, use this camera. I'm just kidding, but honestly, the colors in this camera make a world of difference, and it kind of feels like 70% of the color correction and the color grading is done in camera for you, and you kind of just have to tweak and fine-tune your colors in post, which makes your life a lot easier. Now, autofocusing with this camera is kind of an interesting story. It has Canon's dual pixel autofocus that is amazing. That autofocusing system will not let you down. And the autofocus in this camera works great. There's one huge problem that I have with the autofocus system. Modern cameras like the Canon RP or the A7 III have hundreds, if not thousands of autofocusing points. This camera has 45, and they're all right there in the center of your frame. So if something's right here, or right here, or right here, or right here, like just at the edges of your frame, the camera just won't see it for autofocus. So basically anything you want to get in focus, you have to make sure it's in the middle of your frame, and then if you want to like push it to the side, you just lock your autofocus. But it's super slow, super cumbersome, and considering the price point of this camera, it's just a really crappy autofocus. But if you're someone that's doing portraits or a lifestyle or fashion where your subject matter is typically in the middle and you're not rushing to make sure you get that right shot, it probably won't make a difference to you. And that's kind of one of the reasons I want the best in my camera. The Canon RP is $999 and it has a better autofocusing system, whereas this camera is $1,300 and it has this dinosaur of an autofocus system. And if I'm gonna pay $1,300, I want $1,300 worth of value. I do like the body style in this camera, and we'll get into that later, but the autofocusing system in this camera, I'm so not having it. But if you do decide to use this camera, the autofocusing system, when you're using it in the center, is phenomenal. It is super accurate. Also, another thing to mention, this camera does have touch autofocus, and it's super accurate, just I wish it covered the entire frame. Are you someone that wants to keep their camera safe while traveling? If so, this bag could be perfect for you. Today's sponsor, the Everyday Camera Bag. The camera bag that's designed for everyday life while also keeping your camera safe and secure. They sent me some of their bags, and I personally loved having something that I could carry my everyday things in while also having a safe and secure compartment just for my camera. This way, I don't need to bother with buying two separate bags. The best part is it combines a secure compartment with a water-resistant design to make sure that my camera gear is always safe and secure, while also being stylish enough for everyday use. I mean, it looks pretty awesome, and I love having it with me. It's affordable quality that will last, and it's something that a photographer, a YouTuber, or any kind of content creator would love to have. It's the camera bag that's more than just a camera bag. For a limited time, if you use the code word RIVER, you'll get 10% off your purchase, but only for a limited time. Check out the link in the description down below for more information. As for stabilization, this camera does not have any in-body stabilization on the actual sensor, but it does have digital image stabilization. However, it's kind of dated, and I found I got this weird floaty effect that I just did not like. Canon does their stabilization in the lens, and I found when I use it in the lens, it looked a lot better. If you do need a camera with really good in-body stabilization, definitely check out the Sony a6500 or the a7 III. As for low light, this is not a low light camera. Canon cameras aren't really known for low light anyways, but this camera has a max ISO range of 1600 to 2000. You can go above that, but after that, I find the results get really noisy. And it's not like beautiful filmic grain, it just looks like static. However, there is one massive, and I mean massive reason to get this camera, the body style. This camera is nice and robust. It feels really nice in my hand. I love this grip. With a mirrorless camera, you just don't get this feel. I love the side flippy screen, although you can get this on a Canon mirrorless, but not on a Sony mirrorless. And I think the best part about this body style is how rugged it is. If you're going anywhere with your camera where it's a treacherous environment, you have to get a camera like this. These things are absolutely bomb-proof. They will survive snow, hail, rain, even a bomb maybe, but please don't go where there are bombs. And the other thing that I absolutely love, because it's such a big body, all the buttons are perfectly laid out. I have pretty big hands, and this camera just fits perfectly in my hands. I feel like all the buttons are exactly where they need to be. I can easily access everything with my fingers, and that's one of the things that I miss about having a big body like this. Everything is just perfect ergonomically. I feel like I work way faster with a bigger body like this, even though most big DSLRs aren't as high powered as mirrorlesses anymore. And the only reason I can really see somebody getting a camera like this instead of the Canon RP or the a7 III, which are way better values for your money, is because they're going somewhere that's a treacherous environment and they need something that can really hold up, or they need something with a super long battery, because the Canon RPs may be good for 120 to 200 shots. The Sony batteries are infamous for being bad. This camera will give you 1200 shots on a single charge. So if you're like out in the jungle for like many months, take a couple Canon batteries with you and that could potentially last you for weeks and weeks. And two things that I have to mention about this camera, because I know this matters to some of you. The SD card is in the side. I know this matters. You guys hate having to take your camera off the tripod to get it from the side. And second, there is no headphone jack. You do get a jack for external audio, but you can't monitor your audio. That's kind of a loss on Canon's part. And one thing that I have to mention is how awesome the touchscreen on the back of this camera is. It's super accurate, super fast, and to be honest, I find myself using it more and more. I do love the buttons because of the DSLR style body. However, I know a lot of you guys like touchscreens, as I'm slowly falling in love with touchscreens. Definitely check out this camera, if only for the touchscreen. So how does this camera stack up to what else is on the market? To be honest, I kind of think this camera's outdated, unless you specifically need this body style and a full frame, in which case $13.99 in a DSLR body with this full frame sensor, this is probably the best deal you can get. But if you just want a full frame because you want that full frame look, the Canon RP is a really good deal. It's $9.99, you get a full frame, 26 megapixel sensor. It's the exact same internals as this. However, that camera just shoots a little bit slower. It does 5 frames per second in single frame and 2.5 in continuous, and now that is slower, but it's only $999, and that camera also has 4K and way more autofocus points. But if you're willing to spend an extra $400, you should get the full Canon R. That camera does 8 frames per second in single and 5 frames per second in continuous, which is faster than this camera, but that camera does 4K, 10-bit clean out for an external recorder. If you're a video guy, you know what I'm talking about. But also that camera shoots in C-Log, which is a cinema profile, so that camera, way higher quality video. Personally, I think the Canon R and the Canon RP are the best full frame options from Canon on the market right now. Or if you're okay with losing those gorgeous Canon colors, Sony makes an amazing camera called the A7 III. It does 10 frames per second continuous, amazing raw photos. It doesn't have that amazing Canon color science, but Sony cameras generally give you way more flexibility in color in post, so you could really push and pull your colors in both photos and videos. And of course, that camera does full frame and is amazing in low light. The A7 III is a hell of a camera, and if you pick up any of the cameras I mentioned, you will not be disappointed. I kind of think that the 16 Mark II is an absolute dinosaur, but the one person that I would probably recommend this to is somebody that wants that full frame in this body style because maybe they're in the jungle, maybe they need something with a super long battery life, maybe they're going somewhere that's a super harsh environment. If you just need this body style, I'd say go for it. This is the most affordable deal in this body style that Canon offers. And Sony cameras are not nearly as tough as the Canon DSLRs. This thing will survive anything. Also guys, if you're looking to do just video and you have a budget of about $1,700 to $2,000, I would look up the Canon C100 Mark I or Mark II. It's an amazing camera. It's been used to shoot feature film and TV shows, and the technology in that camera has aged really, really well. You'll get amazing video with Canon colors, and it's honestly one of those cameras that will not let you down if you're specifically looking to do high-end video. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us on our video for the Canon 16 Mark II. There's a link in the description down below for the best pricing on this camera, so be sure to check that out. Also, if you have any questions about this camera whatsoever, hit me up in the comments down below and I'll make sure to get back to every single one of you, as I always do. I love interacting with you guys. As always, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me figure out what kind of content you guys are liking, what kind of content I should go making forward. Thanks so much, guys. Until next time.